She packed her silence in the dark, held her babies, hid the scars. Everybody saw the signs, but nobody pulled the alarm. Love should not be a warning. Home should not feel like war. If the door is your only freedom, why does peace cost so much more? This is the exit cost, the truth behind the pain. For every woman lost, we remember every name. No more hiding what we know, no more calling murder love. We speak for the ones who couldn't, we rise for the ones still stuck. This is Her Psychology with Hollie-Love. The exit cost. Because leaving should never cost you your life.
He checked every box: educated, successful, well-spoken, a fraternity brother, a man people called respectable, the kind of man mothers say, "Girl, don't let him get away," the kind of man social media now calls a high-value man. But Her Psychology has a question. What happens when the image of a man becomes more believable than the experience of a woman? Tonight, we're talking about prestige, brotherhood, social protection, the politics of likability. This is not just about one man. This is about a system. Welcome to Her Psychology, the Her Psychology breakdown, the high-value man illusion. In many social spaces, women are taught to evaluate men based on achievement instead of emotional safety. The checklist sounds familiar: educated, financially stable, well-connected, attractive, respected publicly, comes from good stock. But Her Psychology asks, can a man be socially valuable and emotionally unsafe at the same time? The answer is yes, because status and integrity are not the same thing. A resume cannot tell you how someone handles rejection, how they react when told no, whether entitlement lives underneath charm, whether power changes how they treat women behind closed doors. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to The Exit Cost, where we examine real stories of intimate partner violence, family violence, coercive control, and the warning signs we often don't recognize until it's too late. Before we begin, I want to say something important. This series is not about blaming an entire community. This series is about protecting our community. Every episode is created so another family might recognize the warning signs before tragedy occurs. Tonight we examine the death of former Virginia Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax and his estranged wife, Dr. Cerina Fairfax. Public reporting indicates that during their divorce proceedings, Justin Fairfax fatally shot Dr. Cerina Fairfax before taking his own life. Their children were reportedly inside the home when it happened. This episode is based on publicly reported information. Our goal is not to speculate about facts that are unknown, but to examine what this tragedy can teach us about relationships, control, and prevention. Joining me tonight are Dr. Maya Brooks, former political strategist Marcus Reed, Dr. Evan Carter, and attorney Alicia Grant. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Ty. These conversations are heartbreaking, but they're necessary. Every family violence tragedy leaves behind people asking, how did this happen? Tonight, I hope we can move beyond shock and talk about warning signs, trauma, and prevention.
Thanks, Ty. Most people knew Justin Fairfax because of politics. Tonight, we're going to discuss something bigger than politics. We're going to examine how public image can influence the way communities process violence.
Thank you. My role tonight is not to diagnose anyone. It's impossible and inappropriate to diagnose someone from news reports. Instead, we'll discuss what research tells us about coercive control, relationship breakdown, and the behavioral patterns commonly seen in intimate partner homicides.
Thank you, Ty. I'll focus on the legal side. We'll discuss divorce proceedings, protective measures, due process, and why these cases remind us that legal action alone cannot always eliminate danger.
Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax is dead. Fairfax County Police confirming he died in a murder-suicide at his home in Annandale. These are live pictures of the scene from Chopper 4. News 4 was on the scene overnight after someone inside the home called 911. Fairfax was once a rising star among Democrats. He was poised to become Virginia's next governor until two women accused him of sexual assault. He denied the accusations and was never charged. We are working for you this morning with live team coverage. Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Julie Carey is speaking to people who knew Fairfax best, but we begin with News 4's Megan McGrath and the investigation. Megan, what have police told you?
Well, just a terrible situation here. And if you look behind me, you can see the police are still here on the scene. Just about an hour ago or so, the bodies were removed from the home. Now, former Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax and his wife Cerina shared this home in Annandale with their two teenage children. But according to court documents and police, the marriage was falling apart. Last night, things came to a head when Justin Fairfax shot and killed his wife and then turned the gun on himself. The couple's two children were home when it happened. It was their son that made the 911 call. Police came to the home on Guinevere Drive following a 911 call from a child inside the house. He told the dispatcher that he thought his father may have stabbed his mother and that she was bleeding, and he did not know where his father was. As the investigation unfolded, police quickly realized that the couple involved was former Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax and his wife, Cerina, and that the weapon involved was a gun, not a knife.
I'm here to confirm the identity of our shooter in this murder-suicide that happened several hours ago as former Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax.
For years, Justin Fairfax represented the image of success. A graduate of Duke University and Columbia Law School, Fairfax became Virginia's lieutenant governor and was considered a rising political star. Many believe he had a future as governor and perhaps even beyond. He was the polished professional, the family man, the fraternity-connected success story, the kind of man society often labels high value. Then came 2019. Two women publicly accused Fairfax of sexual assault involving incidents they allege occurred years earlier. Vanessa Tyson alleged an assault in 2004. Meredith Watson alleged a rape in 2000, while both were students at Duke University. Fairfax denied both allegations and maintained the encounters were consensual. No criminal charges were filed. The allegations exploded nationally. His political future changed almost overnight. Supporters defended him. Critics demanded accountability. The public divided into camps. And the conversation became less about facts and more about sides. On the outside, they looked like success. He was accomplished. She was accomplished. Two educated black professionals. Two parents. A respected public family. But as we have learned over and over, success cannot tell us what happens behind closed doors. Public records indicate the couple separated and filed for divorce. Court records showed disputes over the home and living arrangements as the marriage came to an end. Then, in April 2026, authorities say the situation ended in a murder-suicide that left two children without either parent. Marcus, when someone is successful publicly, why is it so difficult for communities to imagine private problems?
Because we've confused accomplishment with character. We celebrate achievements, degrees, titles, campaigns, promotions. People begin believing that because someone has accomplished extraordinary things, they must also possess extraordinary integrity. Those are two completely different things. Public success is visible. Private behavior usually isn't.
That's powerful. Because many women hear things like, girl, he's a good catch. He's educated. He's successful. You'll never find another man like him. Dr. Maya, how much pressure does that place on women?
An enormous amount. Women are often taught to evaluate men by external accomplishments, but emotional safety doesn't come with a diploma. Healthy conflict doesn't come with a political title. Respect isn't guaranteed by professional success. Many women silence their own discomfort because everyone around them admires the man they're dating. That isolation can be incredibly confusing.
And that's where I want women listening tonight to lean in. Sometimes your intuition notices something long before everyone else does.
The conversation often focuses on income, education, influence, appearance, and social status. But here's the problem. Those qualities tell you almost nothing about how someone behaves during conflict. Can he accept rejection? Can he regulate anger? Can he respect boundaries? Can he hear no without becoming controlling? Those questions matter far more than his resume.
Dr. Evan, research tells us that intimate partner homicide often follows escalating patterns of control rather than a single argument. Can you explain that?
Yes. While every case is different, research consistently shows that many intimate partner homicides involve patterns of escalating control, possessiveness, threats, stalking, or an inability to accept the end of the relationship. That doesn't mean every controlling person becomes violent, but it does mean controlling behaviors should never be minimized. When someone believes a partner is something they own rather than someone who can freely choose to leave, the risk can increase significantly.
That sentence, someone who believes they own their partner. I want everyone watching to sit with that. Because love doesn't require ownership. Love requires respect.
And from the legal perspective, separation can be one of the most dangerous periods in an abusive relationship. Many people assume that once divorce papers are filed, the danger is over. Unfortunately, that's not always true. The law provides important tools, but safety planning, community awareness, and support systems are equally important.
Exactly. Leaving should never cost someone their life. And yet, that's why this series is called The Exit Cost. When we come back, Dr. Maya breaks down why some people mistake control for love. And our Numbers Don't Lie segment examines what the research tells us about intimate partner homicide and why the period surrounding separation can be so dangerous.
Catch the Don Lemon Show weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern for hot topics and 5 p.m. Eastern for the latest news. On YouTube at The Don Lemon Show.
Before the break, we talked about the difference between image and character. Now I want to ask a question that makes many people uncomfortable. At what point does love stop being love and become control? Because in HerPsychology, we hear women say things like, "He just loved me so much. He didn't want me around other men because he cared. He was always checking on me because he was protective." Dr. Maya, where's the line?
The line is crossed the moment love removes your freedom. Healthy love says, I trust you. Control says, prove yourself to me. Healthy love says, call me when you get there. Control says, send me your location every 15 minutes. Healthy love celebrates your independence. Control slowly eliminates it. Unfortunately, many women and men have been socialized to confuse possessiveness with passion.
That's something we don't talk about enough. Growing up, so many of us heard, "Girl, he's just jealous because he loves you. He only acts like that because he doesn't want to lose you." Marcus, how has society normalized that?
Movies, music, social media, even family. We've romanticized unhealthy behaviors, the persistent phone calls, showing up unexpectedly, refusing to accept a breakup, following someone after they leave. People laugh and call it determination. Sometimes it's actually an inability to respect another person's autonomy. And when that behavior goes unchecked, it can escalate.
One of the hardest realities about intimate partner violence is that many perpetrators do not appear violent in public. Neighbors often say, "He was so nice." Coworkers say, "He was always respectful." Friends say, "I never would have imagined this." Why? Because public image and private behavior can be two very different realities.
People usually experience different versions of us. A coworker experiences our professional self. Friends experience our social self. Family experiences our intimate self. Romantic partners experience conflict, disappointment, rejection, vulnerability. Those are entirely different environments. So it's possible for someone to function exceptionally well professionally while struggling significantly in intimate relationships. Again, that observation isn't about this case specifically. It's a broader finding supported by research.
Every episode of The Exit Cost ends with facts, not opinions, not social media debates, facts, because awareness saves lives. Tonight's story wasn't just about one family. It was about what happens when power, image, emotional immaturity, and unresolved conflict collide.
According to national research, the period immediately following separation is one of the most dangerous times for victims of intimate partner violence. Many people assume once someone leaves, they're finally safe. Unfortunately, that's often when risk increases, which is why safety planning is just as important as courage. Leaving takes bravery. Leaving also takes preparation.
Black women experience intimate partner violence at disproportionately high rates. Many also face barriers to getting help. Those barriers can include fear of not being believed, financial dependence, community pressure to keep family matters private, distrust of institutions, limited culturally responsive mental health resources, concern that reporting abuse may contribute to harmful stereotypes about Black men. Those pressures can make leaving even more complicated.
Marcus, final thoughts.
As a community, we have to stop confusing achievement with character. Money doesn't teach empathy. Success doesn't automatically create emotional maturity. Let's continue celebrating Black excellence. But let's also normalize accountability. The strongest communities are the ones willing to have difficult conversations before tragedy happens.
Dr. Evan, what would you leave our audience with tonight?
One of the greatest misconceptions about violence is believing it begins with physical harm. Research shows that many unhealthy relationships begin with controlling behaviors. Isolation, jealousy, monitoring, manipulation, possessiveness. Not every controlling relationship becomes physically violent, but every controlling relationship deserves attention. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, not ownership, not fear, not control.
You know, every time I prepare one of these episodes, I find myself asking the same question. How many warning signs were mistaken for love? How many controlling behaviors were called protection? How many women ignored their intuition because everyone else loved the man they were afraid of? Those questions stay with me. The purpose of the exit cost isn't to judge people after tragedy. It's to interrupt the pattern before tragedy happens. If tonight's conversation encourages one woman to trust her instincts, if one family starts having healthier conversations, if one man decides to seek help before anger becomes violence, then this episode mattered. Because awareness is where prevention begins. If tonight's episode spoke to you, here are 5 books I'd encourage you to read as you continue your healing journey. Why Does He Do That? By Lundy Bancroft. The Gift of Fear by Gavin DeBecker. Set Boundaries, Find Peace by Nedra Glover Tawwab. All About Love by Bell Hooks. Choose Better, a 90-day self-dating journal by Hollie-Love. Because healing begins the moment you choose yourself. Thank you for joining us for another episode of The Exit Cost. Until next time, because leaving shouldn't cost you your life. Good night. Before you jump back into dating, before you answer that text, before you give someone access to your heart again, I want you to take a moment and choose yourself first. My name is Hollie-Love, and I created Choose Better, the 90-day self-dating journal companion for women who are tired of repeating the same relationship cycles and calling it love. This journal is not about blaming yourself. It is about learning yourself. It is about asking the right questions before you give the wrong person another chance. For 90 days, this journal walks you through self-reflection, healing, accountability, standards, boundaries, self-worth, and emotional clarity. Because sometimes the person you need to date first is you. We talk about this all the time on HerPsychology. Why do we ignore red flags? Why do we accept less than what we need? Why do we keep choosing potential over peace? This journal gives you a private place to rest with yourself. No performance, no pretending, no chasing love while abandoning yourself. Just 90 days of choosing better. So before you say yes to someone else, say yes to yourself. Choose Better, the 90-day self-dating journal companion. Written by Hollie-Love, available now on Amazon.com. Tag below, Follow Her Psychology podcast series and the Redhead 47 for more healing conversations, relationship truth, and self-worth reminders.